So, UFC 306 is gonna take place this weekend at the Sphere, and it's the greatest combat sports event in history according to Dana White. It has like 3 good fights on there, and the rest are a bunch of random Mexican fighters they just chucked in there. But let's not kid ourselves here, the main event is something everyone is looking forward to. Sean O'Malley is a very entertaining striker, while Merab is an absolute cardio machine. And the big question in this fight is if Merab is going to be able to Merab his way through O'Malley. So in this video I'm going to break down and predict this fight. And first of all I want to start off by going over the strength and weaknesses of each fighters. And we'll start off with O'Malley. Now, Sean O'Malley's biggest weapon is of course his striking. I would honestly put him as the second best striker in the UFC after Pereira. Just had to piss off the Adesanya fans with that one. And one of the biggest weapons when it comes to the striking is of course his speed and fluidity. O'Malley is the fastest guy in the entire division. He's very fast on the feet and also has very fast hands. And his movements and combos are also very fluid. His striking is actually beautiful to watch, no Jones. And his kicks are also very good. Especially his teeps, which he throws in a stabbing way. And another thing he's very good at is staying at the right distance where he can utilize his reach and longer attacks. It also goes without saying that he's very powerful. We see him putting out dudes left and right. He's also very good at counters, as we saw in the Aljo fight. But also at setting up powerful shots, as we saw in the Vera fight, where he landed that beautiful knee right in Vera's face. Now in his Petr Yan fight, he took some bombs and was still able to not get knocked down. So I also think it's safe to say that O'Malley has a pretty decent shin on him. Now, moving on to weaknesses, and the most obvious one is of course going to be his grappling. And not necessarily because his grappling is particularly bad, it's just because if you take him down, you've successfully nullified his striking, which is his biggest weapon. And another weakness he kinda has is the leg kicks. Now I think it's pretty overplayed by the commentary team, but it certainly seems like his opponents do land a decent amount of leg kicks in his fights. Now Merab's biggest strength is of course his cardio. His cardio is out of this world, probably the best cardio in the UFC. He also fights at an insane pace where he just constantly shoots takedowns. Probably the best fighter in the UFC when it comes to weaponizing his pace too. And his grappling is also therefore going to be one of his strong points. He was able to take down Cejudo multiple times, who is an Olympic gold medalist in freestyle wrestling. Now, other than cardio, high pace and grappling, there isn't really that many other things about him. He has a very simple but effective style. But he does have some pretty obvious weaknesses. The first one is his striking. I think his striking is very sloppy, very mediocre, but it does become somewhat effective the longer the fight goes on due to the takedown threat and due to his opponents gassing out. We saw that in the Petr Yan fight and in the Cejudo fight. But we also saw something else in those fights. First of all, we saw how Merab wasn't able to control his opponents on the ground in order to deal significant damage or get a submission, which of course is crucial to be good at if you're a grappler. The other thing we saw is that getting takedowns isn't super easy for him. I think Yan defended like 40 takedowns in their fight. And another thing I've noticed about his striking is how open he is while throwing combinations. When he's throwing punches, he often loads up or drops his other hand down to his waist, which is very risky, and he actually paid for this in his last fight where he got caught badly by Cejudo in the first round. Now we can move on to some of the win conditions for each fighters, and Sean O'Malley is obviously going to want to utilize his strengths and keep this fight standing on the feet. Merab is obviously going to want to take him down though, so O'Malley has to make use of his reach advantage and movement in order to keep Merab at long range, where Merab is going to have to close a lot of distance in order to take O'Malley down. O'Malley is also going to want to use a lot of counters in this fight, because Merab is very open on the feet and very predictable because all he does is shoot takedowns. So I want to see a lot of well-timed knees from O'Malley like the ones he landed on Vera. Now Merab is going to want to Merab O'Malley, and what I mean by that is that he's going to want to keep a high pace because his cardio is insane, and we have seen O'Malley kind of start fading away as the fight goes on. And when I say keep a high pace, I don't mean throwing a lot of punches. I'm talking about shooting a lot of takedowns and attempt to control O'Malley on the ground. And if O'Malley gets up or defends, he's going to want to shoot another one. And Merab is going to Merab O'Malley. is what I thought at first, but my opinion on this fight has changed. The biggest difference between O'Malley and Merab's former opponents is the reach. Jan, Aldo, and Cejudo all got similar proportions to Merab, which makes it so Merab won't have to get past a very long reach in order to get a takedown, which I certainly think is going to create some problems for Merab. And O'Malley's also very good at keeping his opponents at long range, which often prevents his opponents from shooting constant takedowns, like in his fight against Aljo. Aljo, the grappling merchant himself, shot like one takedown in the first round, and I believe that was because he had a very hard time closing that distance, and closing the distance also comes with a huge risk, because O'Malley actually hits really hard. You also have to factor in that the scoring is damage based. Merab does not cause a lot of damage in his fights, and he doesn't attempt submissions on the ground either, so he's not favored by the scoring criteria at all. And let's be real, if it goes all 5 rounds and it's a close fight, they're giving it to O'Malley, but that's if it even goes 5 rounds, because as I said earlier, Merab is very open for counters and he does get caught. He got caught by Moraes and Cejudo, who are not on the same level as O'Malley. O'Malley is getting knockouts left and right, so can he potentially knock out Merab? Yeah, it's very possible. We can also mention that Merab has a cut, which he posted on social media, and it's right over his eye. So you bet O'Malley's gonna target that thing, and he also potentially has staph infection, which nerfs cardio like crazy, and Merab is all cardio. The guy doesn't pose any threat on the ground or on the feet. He can't cause damage and he can't submit you. His style only prevents his opponents from doing anything. So if you take away his cardio, he really isn't all that. So it goes without saying that I will go with O'Malley in this one. I think Merab is going to have difficulty dealing with the range of O'Malley. I think O'Malley is going to do a great job keeping Merab at a long range where he can cause a lot of damage. I think Merab is going to hesitate to close that distance, and if he gets O'Malley down, O'Malley's just going to get back up anyways. And Merab is also very predictable, and O'Malley's very good at making reads, so I think it's very possible that he knocks out Merab in this fight. Either with a punch as Merab drops his guarding hand, or with a knee right up the middle as Merab shoots in. So I will be going with O'Malley by knockout in this fight. Now, can Merab win? Yeah, it's definitely possible that he Merabs his way to a title, but aside from the fact that O'Malley is a difficult matchup, the outside factors are stacked against him in this one, so I have a hard time seeing him winning, and I also hope he doesn't win, because then he would stink up the best division in the UFC right now, and nobody wants to see that. But I think that's it for today, guys. Check out my last video where I made a list mentioning the best boxers in every division. But anyways, thanks for watching, subscribe, leave a like, comment who you think is gonna win, and also don't forget to share this to someone who thinks Merab is gonna win, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.